Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are literally breaking through the classical limits of technology to decode the groundbreaking roadmap of QETM Nexus. We're going to be exploring their totally unhackable quantum hardware system and the radical human-AI executive boardroom that's actually driving it all. It's a completely fascinating blueprint, so let's just jump right in. All right, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the quantum networking paradigm, move into the hardware logistics highway, and explore scaling to total system clarity, followed by cosmic laser routing space links. Then we'll dive into the 8 AI matrix operation and finish the whole thing off with a modern boardroom roadmap. Let's do this. Section 1. The quantum networking paradigm. To really appreciate the monumental size of the leap QETM Nexus is taking here, we first have to recognize the glaring, frankly scary vulnerabilities in our current terrestrial networks. So, here's the massive paradigm shift. QETM Nexus, they weren't just, throwing a band-aid on vulnerable fiber lines or pushing out some incremental 5G upgrade. We all know standard networks are inherently hackable. Instead, QETM bypasses all that noise entirely with their quantum entanglement transportation module. This V-band quantum networking fabric is information theoretically secure. It's not about forcing you to make harder passwords. They're literally leveraging the fundamental laws of physics to guarantee your data is totally protected. Moving to Section 2, the hardware logistics highway. Because to really understand how this deeply secure network actually functions out in the wild, we need to talk about the physical components that form a literal logistical highway for these quantum states. Now, you know the biggest headache in quantum mechanics, right? It's maintaining that extremely delicate quantum coherence. If you so much as look at the data the wrong way, the whole state collapses. And that is exactly where these high-purity, magnesium, zinc-doped crystals come into play. Think of them as a flawless holding pen. They allow for incredible precision in photon storage and interaction without destroying that super fragile quantum state. They are literally the physical medium making this entire highway possible. And working right alongside those crystals is just a symphony of next-level hardware. Picture a photon's journey here. You've got the state-of-the-art Willow chip processing architecture handling the insanely complex computational loads, while these 8-way cardinal laser arrays seamlessly route the data from node to node. And because quantum systems require absolute perfect stillness, they use advanced maglev drives to physically stabilize the hardware. Cap it all off with superluminal signal synchronization to keep perfect timing across vast distances, and you've got a seriously robust setup. Section 3. Scaling to total system clarity. So the crucial question is, how do you take this incredible hardware from a cool, isolated proof of concept and actually turn it into a massively scalable global solution? Well, QETM tackles this with a highly iterative scaling process. They start off with the QETM 100 repeater foundation, but transitioning into what they call the continuum, which is the 200 to 500 phase, man, that presents some staggering engineering challenges. The team literally has to exponentially scale up node density, achieve perfect alignment of advanced cryostats to eliminate thermal noise, and lock down microscopic precision alignment. Overcoming those massive hurdles is what finally unlocks Step 3, scaling all the way up to the QETM 1000 level for pure high-frequency communications. Let's zoom in on that foundational layer for a second. Just to clear up a super common misconception we see floating around, the QE10 M100 is absolutely not a drone. No, it's not going to be flying around delivering your packages. It's a stationary, highly specialized hardware repeater node. Its one and only job is to securely extend the quantum network's range, step by step, totally bypassing standard terrestrial signal degradation while strictly preserving the quantum superposition of the data. In all of those 100-level foundational nodes ultimately pave the way to the Holy Grail, 1000. Reaching the QETM 1000 level is the absolute pinnacle of their hardware roadmap. Hitting this mark means those immense, headache-inducing challenges of thermal noise and precision alignment, they've been solved. Total system clarity is finally reached, giving us a flawless, high-frequency quantum network that spans enormous geographical boundaries. All right, Section 4, cosmic laser routing space links. Because once you hit those terrestrial physical limits, QETM Nexus takes this logistical highway straight up to the stars. We all know standard networks inevitably hit hard physical roadblocks on the ground. So how on earth do you transmit incredibly fragile quantum states across an entire ocean? Well, QETM bypasses the ground entirely, using space-to-ground uplinks. Through the Jiggerbug Hub and the Solstice Node projects, they are deploying high-powered telescopic lasers. It's wild to think about, but this completely shatters our terrestrial limitations, effectively turning the cosmos into a seamless working extension of their secure V-band fabric. Section 5. The 8 AI Matrix Operation. Look, building a superluminal, space-ready quantum fabric, that demands an entirely new breed of corporate structure. You just can't run a hyper-advanced quantum company with a traditional, slow-moving boardroom. And this right here is where high-level business strategy collides with next-gen tech. It's a completely radical organizational model. The division of labor is super clear. The human founders stay right at the center, driving the overarching vision, the intent, and laying out those core physics directives. But the actual heavy lifting of execution, the complex threat modeling, the engineering validation, real-time security architecture, and figuring out the business scalability, that is entirely run by an aligned, multi-model AI executive board known as the 8 AI Matrix. This is such a huge departure from the norm. QETM isn't just treating AI like some handy productivity tool open in a browser tab. No, these AI nodes are fully embedded as true technical supervisors and executive peers. By letting the AI tackle the staggering computational demands of real-time engineering validation, they radically streamline corporate decision-making. It completely wipes out those traditional corporate bottlenecks, meaning their business scalability can actually keep pace with the blinding speed of their quantum innovation. Which brings us to Section 6, a modern boardroom roadmap. As we start to wrap this explainer up, we really need to ask the big question. Why does this actually matter to you? And what should modern corporate boardrooms be taking away from all of this? Honestly, the market potential here is absolutely unparalleled. When QETM Nexus fully scales this technology, we're not just looking at a cool new infrastructure upgrade, we're talking about a foundational shift in how humanity protects and routes its data. As standard fiber networks rapidly become obsolete, this V-band quantum fabric represents the definitive, completely unhackable answer to global data security. What QETM Nexus proves is that taking massive, bold leaps in hardware, like integrating those Willow chips and doped crystals, requires equally bold leaps in corporate governance. Embedding AI at the executive level is exactly how they're solving some of the hardest quantum physics challenges known to us. This is the new strategic roadmap. So I'll leave you with this thought. As we hurtle toward this new information theoretically secure era, is your organizational structure actually prepared to adapt to an unhackable AI-partnered future? Think about it. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.